Success shouldn't be measured by material. It shouldn't be measured by money. It shouldn't be measured by how big of a house you have or how many Lamborghinis you have. It should be measured by your character.
How can you expect people to trust what you promise if you can't even clean your own room? Failure is so much easier to take than regret.
Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to live a more fulfilling life, doing more of what matters to you and less of what doesn't matter. And the first thing we need to address is distractions. Okay, distractions. What is a distraction? One, anything that isn't your mission. Okay? Now, obviously, missions change. Missions, goals, purpose, whatever you want to call it. Every man has a deep mission they want to fulfill. Okay? Now, anything that isn't your mission is going to be a distraction, but there is more. There is more. Okay? The second thing is anytime you aren't learning. Okay? So besides anything that isn't your mission, it's any time that you spend where you're not really learning anything. Or any time that you spend that's just empty time, that you're not learning or you're not gaining value. Okay? Now there is exceptions, of course. There's times where you're resting and you're sleeping, and of course you want to have those times, but any distractions that are taking away from you learning things, those are the distractions we want to stay away from. Okay? And then 3, it's going to be any time we spend on things that are meaningless to us. Okay? Anytime we spend on things that are meaningless to us. Okay, so that's the exception to these two, is anything that isn't your mission, anytime you aren't learning. Now there's times that actually mean things to us, right? For example, if you were meditating in the forest, or you're spending time with family and you're not really learning and it's not really your mission, but those times have meanings to us. So that's the exception. If something has meaning to you and we have like a value of a list of things that mean the most to us and things that mean pretty much almost nothing to us. And now technically everything has a meaning. Every single thing in this universe has a meaning. But to us, there is like a level of importance. And so we want to find the things that are the most important to us, right? The things like family, friends, stuff like that. Our mission, our purpose, our goals, the things that are most important to us, right? We want to identify those things and do more of those things. So anytime we spend on things that are meaningless to us or have lower meaning to us, is a distraction. Okay? So all 3 of these things are what we need to do to eliminate or reduce distractions. Now, of course, we're not going to be able to completely eliminate these distractions. That's just not possible in the modern world. However, we want to reduce them to where they're not destructive habits. They're not things that are going to make up most of our life. Like our screen time, how the average screen time is like 6 hours, right? At that point, we know it's a distraction, and most of that time, or at least a lot of that time, is anything that isn't your mission, right? You don't need that high of a screen time to complete your mission. Anytime you're not learning, which we don't need, and then anytime we spend on things that are meaningless to us, right? Which is going to be that screen time. A lot of the screen time, or the time we spend on our phones, it's going to be meaningless to us, and we're not going to be learning, and it's not our mission. Okay? So, eliminate/reduce these distractions. That's the first thing we need to do. After we do this, we're going to have like this void. We're going to have this point in time where now we've eliminated a lot of these or reduced a lot of these, and we have a lot of time, a lot of empty time, right? So we need to fill that time with this. First thing we need to do is find what actually matters to us, okay? And to everyone, that can be different things. It's not going to be the same for everyone. And so depending on what actually matters to you, you need to just kind of self-isolate and step away from everything and do some deep, rational thinking, deep thoughts, and just shadow work and find what actually matters to you, okay? To me, it's people, the future, and values. Okay, those are like, there's probably I can make a whole list, but those are some of the things that matter to me the most. Okay, and then once you find what matters to you the most, do work on that thing. So, of course, like values, the future, people, they're not really things you work on per se, but find a way to affect what matters to you in a positive way. Whatever that is, find a way to affect those things in a fulfilling way to you. Okay, and that's all I'm going to really go into that. So work on what matters to you. For example, if child hunger matters to you, work on feeding more children. Stuff like that. It should be pretty obvious, right, what you need to do, or a way you could help and provide and work on what matters to you. Okay? After we do that, what do we need to do? Okay? Do less of what feels good and more of what matters, right? And that's just correlating to these two, right? A lot of the distractions, they feel good to do. And a lot of things that don't correlate with our goals, a lot of things that don't correlate with what matters to us, still feels good to do, right? Like eating bad junk food, watching TV that's on a completely irrelevant subject where we're not learning. That still feels good to do because it's entertainment, right? And there is a place for that. We don't need to completely eliminate those things because we still want to enjoy the pleasures of life, but those things are really easy to get addicted to and to do on a consistent basis. And so we just want to reduce those, okay? Eliminate or reduce those things. Some of the things we can completely eliminate if you really don't want to have them, okay? But we can still make an effort to reduce those things, okay? So either or. Choose what you want to eliminate. Choose what you enjoy doing sometimes and you want to reduce, okay? And so let's say, for example, you have 70 years. Let's use this side. 70 years of life. Okay, that's just an example, right? And then of those years, this is the time you spend doing what matters. And then this is the time you spend on distractions. Right? Let me use another pen. Another marker. Okay. So if we keep doing So every tick mark is going to represent 1 year, right? Now, the more tick marks we have in doing what matters, the more fulfilled we are going to be with our life overall. Okay? And the more years we have in distractions, the less fulfilled we will be with life overall. Now, this isn't a zero-sum game. There is some benefits to having some time in the distractions, just because life is about experiences and distractions are still an experience of life. Okay? But we want to get as many years as possible into what matters. And then we want to limit the amount of years we spend distracted, right? So we want to get we want to get as many years as we can doing what matters to us, and as little time as we can in the distractions. Okay, maybe a few years. Okay, but we don't want to fill this and then have none of this filled. Okay, we want to do more of what matters, and then we want to do less things that are going to take us away from what matters to us. And so that is a very simple way of how to live a life that is overall more fulfilling. So just eliminate and reduce the distractions and do more of what matters, and try to do as much as you can of what matters. Okay. My name's Justin, and remember, you deserve the consequences of your actions.